So that is the reason why fantasies are important. They help us disconnect from reality and make us happy. Give us that happiness which we probably might not have in our real world. So that is why it's important for everyone to connect with our child, the inner child in ourselves, and be involved in our fantasies. We will be discussing about our fantasies throughout the meeting. But before that, for the benefit of guests, let me explain you our today's program. Our program will be split into two halves. First half will be prepared speeches, wherein our seasoned Toastmasters will be preparing the season, or new Toastmasters will be preparing their speeches, and those speeches will be evaluated by seasoned Toastmasters. In our second session, we will be having impromptu session. During this session, we will be speaker will be given a chance. All the people present over here will be given a chance to come on stage and speak impromptu. This is a great chance for everyone to come here and remove their stage fright. To start off, I will introduce to our tag team. Our tag team is a team which takes care of time, filler words, and grammar. These are three important pillars of Toastmasters meeting. Time, because time is money. You have to be on time. R counters, because you will get to know why R counters are important. R's and are such words are important when our R counter tells about her role. And grammar is the medium of expression. So we have to be good with our language. That is why grammar is important. To introduce, let me call upon our timer for the today, Toastmaster Naval. So Toastmaster Naval is a software engineer who will be playing the role of timer. Let us hear from Toastmaster Naval about his.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Naval, and I am a software engineer by profession. So today I will be playing the role of timer. So my role will be of making sure that every speech that is going on is completed within time, and no one is get disqualified. I will also help everyone to know what is the time which is going on by showing the play cards, which is green. If you are about you have completed certain time, I will show green card, I will show yellow card and red card. After red card, you should try to end your speech, because after a certain limit, you will be disqualified if it is not done like that. Thank you.
Wait, hang on. So Toastmaster Naval, you are software engineer by profession, but you would have had some childhood fantasies. In your fantasies, what were you doing?
Okay, so as a kid, I was always fascinated about machines, and I used to watch shows like Factory Made and things like that on Discovery Channel. So I used to always think that I will work in a chocolate factory. That was my fantasy. And after my 12th standard, I studied mechanical engineering. But as I realized that things were not going in the way like where I can work in a chocolate factory or something like that, then I realized I have to shift my career and focus on money rather than chocolate. So I started doing software engineering. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, it quite happens that, rather, I would say it always happens that we fantasize about something but end up doing something different. Now, to count the filler words and crutch words, we have someone who will be playing the role of our counter. Let's welcome Toastmaster Amaya, who will be playing the role of our counter. She'll explain her role to us. Amaya.
Hello, good morning. I am Amna Bansal and I am a student by profession. I am actually for the role of our counter today. So in this role, going to note down all the filter sounds and words all the people who will speak today will be using. So those filter words could be and, so, well, like, etc. And filter sounds could be uh, and unnecessary pauses. So thank
Toastmaster Amaya, what was your childhood fantasy?
Okay, so childhood fantasy, it was not a quite interesting one, but when I was small, a relative of mine became fashion designer, and I was so fascinated by their work. They described it as we just sit down and we know, make drawings of what we think a dress should be like and what jewelry should be like, and etc. So I thought that this is very interesting profession. This would be very easy because I love to paint and draw. I said, okay, I will become a fashion designer when I grow up. And once I cut down my clothes to make something better out of it, it was a new dress, and my mom was so angry. She slapped me that so hard that day, and I just stopped my dream at that point. I was like, no, this is not my cup of tea.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it also happens that our parents also are not really up for our fantasies, and sometimes, like Toastmaster Anaya faced it, she could not become fashion designer as of now. But the time is not up. You are still studying. You still have chance to become fashion designer. I hope your fantasy turns true. Now, to keep track of language, we have another role player, Toastmaster Devai. She is. Let us hear about her profession from her own words. So, Toastmaster Devai, please welcome on the stage.
Good morning, Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. I am Devi, grammarian for the today's meeting. As a grammarian, I will note down good as well as not so good use of English language. So here I will introduce the word of the day and phrase of the day. Today's word of the day is contemplate, and its use as a verbal form. Its meaning is to think carefully about something or the possibility of doing something. Similar words are consider, ponder, foresee, mean. I will use it in examples. Before her illness, she had never contemplated retiring. The second example, he contemplated the meaning of the poem for a long time. Does anyone want to use it in your sentences? On online mode? Yes.
When I deliver my any speech, I always contemplate my own experiences so that I can share in with the real audience.
Thank you. It's a real good use of contemplate. And the today's phrase of the day is once in a blue moon. It means very rarely, almost never. I will use it in examples. I'm very careful about what I eat. So it's only once in a blue moon I eat a fast food. The second example is that kind of chance comes once in a blue moon. Can anyone want to? Yes, please. Sandy.
Nowadays, I visit the gym once in a blue moon.
I also. So I will note down the good as well as not so good use of English language, and I urge each and every one of you to use it. And when there is use of word of the day and phrase of the day, please keep thumbs up. So I will count on that. And Aneesh said me that I will introduce about my profession. So I am a component designer, but not the RCC structure. I am designing the wooden structure and basically roof trusses and walls. So these are the I can design the wooden structure. We can't just not imagine that there are structures like 10-story and those are made of only wooden. But it really exists, not in Indian countries, but in US countries. So I'm doing that. Thank you.
Toastmaster Devai, how far or close are you from your fantasy?
I am not close to my fantasy, but at my childhood, I fantasized about the magic stick. As I had heard a lot of stories about stick, and I will get that, and I will resolve my problems, and the magic will happen. But it didn't happen in real life. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, you do work in wooden industry. You can make a stick. The magic part you will have to create. All right. Now we have another important role of a general evaluator. A general evaluator is one who will evaluate the meeting in general. Like we have evaluators for speeches, a general evaluator evaluates meeting, the entire meeting. Now I call upon Toastmaster Abhishek, who will explain his role in a bit more detail, and let's get to know about him. Toastmaster Abhishek is an IT professional who loves coding. Toastmaster Abhishek, over to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Day. Just like there is evaluator for each speaker, similarly there is general evaluator for the entire meeting. As a general evaluator for today's meeting, I will be observing the proceeding of the entire meeting. I will be noticing what are the good thing that our role player has done, and what are the improvement that we can bring to our meeting so that we can improve. At the end of the meeting, I will present my report to the audience so that we can understand what are the improvements. So with that, I would like to hand over the stage to our Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek. Now, question to you. What was your childhood fantasy? And I'm sure it was definitely not coding. So how close or far are you from your childhood fantasy?
Okay. Yeah, that definitely was not coding. And some time ago, I saw something on Instagram that really shocked me. And let's see how many of you can relate to it. So we used to watch so many 90s series where there will be villain and heroes. And again, such kind of things were repeated in my mind. Let's suppose if I am sitting in my classroom and my mind start getting wander off, I will imagine that some terrorists will attack the school and I will save, or I will have some secret lab in my house so that I can build something inside it, just like Dexter in some cartoons. So such kind of ideas were there. Maybe it was the influence of the series or movies that we used to watch, but the same thing I saw in the Instagram few days ago, and I got surprised that how common this thing is. And let's see if you have also the same dream or not, and definitely I am far from it.
Thank you, Toastmaster Abhishek. Well, definitely some dreams do come true. Sometimes it happens that we are not the ones who are making them happen. But good to know that your fantasies are out there in the world. Now, let us start with the first session of prepared speeches. For our first session, our first speaker is going to be Toastmaster Insiya. And to evaluate Toastmaster Insiya, we have Toastmaster Nilesh, who will be talking about the project and the speech what Toastmaster Insiya is going to deliver. Now, let me call upon the evaluator for our first speaker, Toastmaster Nilesh.
Presiding officer, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests. My target speaker today, Toastmaster Insiya, is going to deliver speech from Pathway Innovative Planning. Project title is Connect with Storytelling. And the purpose of this project is to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. I would like to wish all the best to my target speaker, Toastmaster Insiya, and over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you. Toastmaster Insiya, please come over on the stage. So, Toastmaster Insiya, apart from eating candies, what was your childhood fantasy?
Okay, so my childhood fantasy and what I used to do also as a child is I used to dress up. I used to wear from the dupatta, I used to wear a sari. I was very influenced with the TV series. I used to go in front of the mirror and I just cry and say the dialogues. I always was that dramatic and wanted to become an actor. If you ask me, I'm still dramatic, but just not an actor.
Well, you are still an actor. You do act pretty well, and you still have a lot of time. You can still apply for TV series, and you can still become that Sas or the Bahu who is very dramatic. All right. So, Toastmaster Insia, you are about to tell us a story, and the speech title, I believe, is the story of K-12. The story of K-12 Toastmaster Insiya.
I just wanted to make it a little informal. I'm here to say tell a story and not a speech. So this is how it happens. Okay. The story of K-12. Once upon a time, on a windy night, I was all alone and I met Toastmaster of the day, presiding officers, all my story listeners for the day. A very good morning. All of you might be wondering, who did I meet? Why was I all alone? What was I doing there? Who is that person? What is his or her name? Be patient. You will have all your answers by the end of the story. But before that, let me tell you a story that began from the day, one night, when my father, my Hitler father, called me to his room. And he said that, Insia, I have made a life-changing decision and you have to follow it, no questions asked. Anyways, I never had the choice of asking him any questions. And the decision that he made was that I need to move to India for my further studies. That was a shocker to me. I I just had so many thoughts and anxiety running through me that how am I going to manage? I can't go and live in India when I've been staying in Middle East for so many years. But that was not it. On top of that, my father said that Insia, you are going to travel all by yourself to India, all alone. Yes. Imagine a 17-year-old girl was asked to travel all alone across the country. The first thought that came in my mind, isn't my father watching news? Doesn't he know it is not safe for girls to travel alone? But he was very adamant and stubborn. He said, you will either go all by yourself or will not go at all. I thought I didn't have a choice and I accepted. I thought after a few days, my father would have some mercy on me and will be like, it's okay, I will accompany you. But that didn't happen. Days passed by, my tickets arrived, and the tickets were of 11th of June. I started packing. I was not only packing the clothes and my materials, but I was also packing the memories that I have had from 16 years of my life. And finally, the day arrived, the day when I had to leave. My heart was pounding. The, the more the time was coming near, my anxiety levels were also going higher and higher. How will I go? How will I manage? What if something happens? What if some turbulence occurs? All the negative thoughts started coming in my mind. That how am I going to manage? We entered the airport. My family came to me. They hugged me. They bid their goodbyes. And now it was time for me to go all by myself. The time arrived. I went to the luggage counter. I checked in my luggage. And then the person sitting there instructed me to go and sit on a gate. I went and sit on the gate. There were so many people around me waiting there. I saw them also. Now, the next question that started coming in my mind, who is going to sit next to me? Who will be that person? What if that stranger makes me feel uncomfortable? What if he adds something in my drink water? All the crime patrol episodes started coming in my head. I was just very anxious about what is going to happen. I just wished and prayed that some good person comes and sits next to me, which is again not a possibility nowadays. I somehow entered the plane. My I had my seat number written on my ticket, that was K11. I was finding for my seat. A very beautiful looking Air Arabia air hostess came to me and asked me and helped me go and get my seat. I went there and sat there. Now it's the time for someone to come and sit next to me. My eyes were on the entrance, that who is going to be that person. Then came a man who had an average height, and he was wearing specs, he had beard. I somehow wish that this person should come and sit next to me. And how lucky I was that happened. He came and sit next to me. He saw that I was a little anxious. So he started the conversation. He was very polite. Hi, are you traveling to India? I said, yes, I am. And then he said, are you traveling all by yourself? As if it was written all over my face. I said, yes. And that happened, and the conversation began. And we started sharing stories. We started talking. He said about his food preferences. He helped me choose my food. He helped me fill a form. And then we landed in Mumbai. The time came and we had to say our goodbyes. And that time, I had this strange feeling of not meeting the stranger again. We said our goodbyes, how nice it was to meet you. And I was just walking towards my family. Family came and asked me, who is this person? Is he your friend? What is his name? And then, what is his name? I didn't ask his name. I didn't know what his name was. I still don't. I said my family, I don't know what his name is. I just know that he was my K12 for the day. So, friends, we do give a lot of importance to friends in our family. But what about some strangers who are worth remembering and cherishing? I hope that you all find your K12s and cherish them. With this, back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Insiya. Really an endearing story. And I hope we all find our K12s or probably would have found our K12s. Now, moving on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is a pharmacist, Dr. Deep Nabhade. Before he starts with his speech, let us call upon his evaluator, Toastmaster Chandrashekhar, who will tell us more about his project details and his speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Chandrashekhar.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. My target speaker, Toastmaster Deep, is going to attempt level 3 project 1. The project is titled as Inspire Your Audience. And the purpose statement says that the purpose of this project is for the member to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires others. Another purpose is that the speech is for the member to inspire the audience. With that, I would like to give control back to the Toastmaster of the day, and all the best to the speaker.
Toastmaster Deep. Yes.
Hi.
Hello, Toastmaster
Oh,
Deep.
hi.
Yes, you are audible and you are visible. So before you start with your speech, I would like to ask you the same question. What was your childhood fantasy? And I'm probably quite sure that it was not to become a doctor in pharmacy. So what was your fantasy?
Thank you, Toastmaster Anish, for that nice question. My fantasy was definitely to become what right now I am. It was playing cricket with my old childhood friends throughout the day, probably on the days of the holidays specifically. Second, to watch all those Chitrahar and Chhaya and enjoy the music all around on that black and white TVs. Yes, and of course, the parents used to have always the complaints about me. You are just playing on the days of holidays and you're just watching those your musical scenes on the TVs. Yeah, so that's something I could recollect. Over to Toastmaster Anish.
Interesting. I am sure most of us would have had that fantasy where we play cricket, watch music, hear music, and do anything which is not productive and just fun. So I'm sure we all would have had those fantasies. So Toastmaster Deep, your title for the speech is Aspire to Inspire Before Expire. Toastmaster Deep, Aspire to Inspire Before Expire.
Mr. President, fellow Toastmasters, Toastmaster of the day, and all my dear guests, including our area director. I do have a very deep question today for you. What's your aspiration in your life? It may be. It may be something, it may be multiples. But today I want to give you one insight, the deep insight which will definitely give a food for thought you, and probably if I'm successful will inspire you on today at the end of the speech. Please pay your close attention to the story which right now I'm going to narrate in front of you. Long ago, there was a pond filled with water. In that pond, there was a small lily plant, which was just in the middle of that pond. And what happened at the bottom of that lily plant, supposing this is the bottom, supposing this is the top, at the extreme bottom, there was a colony of insects at the bottom of that lily plant. And that colony of insects was very comfortable in their comfort zone. They were very happily living at the bottom of that lily plant. On one fine day, one of the insects out of that colony actually had a thought. He contemplated. He just actually given a thought what it would be beyond this comfort zone, beyond this particular route. Can it be there another world? And he just crawled on one fine day and reached to the top at the surface. He resided there on the leaf of the lily plant, and what exactly he was surprised. He was amazed by looking at the whole surrounding. He could see that water everywhere. He could see the lush green forest surrounding that pond, and he could also see the birds flying around that pond. He was surprised and he was very amazed, and he just tried to remain seated there. And a magic happened with that insect. What was that? The metamorphosis, that insect actually developed the wings. That was really a surprise to that insect. And what happened exactly? The next very natural thing was that insect became actually the dragonfly. That dragonfly then taken the chance. He tried to explore this whole surrounding, the whole ecosystem. He just tried to fly here and there. He could see whole ecosystem. But at some point of time, he actually realized I actually gone away from my native place. So then again, he just came back to his lily plant. Then what happened? Surprisingly, that dragonfly was not able to enter inside the water. Why? Because very simple reason, he was having the wings and he was not able to penetrate the water and he was not able to go inside. Then what he has done, he just seated there, he contemplated over the situation, and what he exactly done, he just started revolving around that plant, and with that particular noise, actually what happened next, that few of his colleagues from the bottom started coming upside, and they also remain seated at the lip. They also undergo the metamorphosis and got developed with the wings, and they also started flying. And this happened, and here the story ended. But now there are four realizations, my dear friends, out of this story. Number one is the aspiration. That one insect was having the aspiration to just grow, to evolve from his actual comfort zone, and he became the dragonfly on one fine day. The second realization out of this story was that the second was that after aspiration, there was the transformation. So transformation next to aspiration is 100% going to happen, is the realization out of this story. The third and most important realization out of this story is that after transformation, there is a challenge in terms of the recognition. Once you are evolved and once you attain the higher level, then probably your colleagues from your society only will think that you're somebody else and not belong to them. And that's why the next realization comes, that the recognition challenge. But the fourth realization out of this story is nothing but you have the power of inspiring others. And fourth realization is nothing but the act of inspiration. So though you can't directly go and do something for your colleagues, but definitely you can influence them with your actions, with your contributions, with your act of the social causes and services, right? So that's why my take home for all of you, all my colleagues, is that you should always have the aspiration to transform and then to do something for your society and to inspire your society. And that how my final message, you should aspire to inspire before you expire. That's my aspiration, friends. What's yours? It's time to contemplate. Thank you for your patient listening. Over to Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deep, for this wonderful speech. I absolutely loved it, the way you used lily and insects and gave us a very important message. Aspiration and fantasies, well, they go hand in hand. I believe that fantasies are first step towards aspiration. So a very good speech, a very good topic covered. We'll hear more about the speech from both the evaluators during our evaluation session. But like I gave feedback to these speakers, now let's take a minute. Timer, please note down a minute, and let's give feedback to Toastmaster Deep on the online mode and Toastmaster Insiya on how you guys felt about their speech. Toastmaster Insiya, good speech. All right. Before we will take a break, but before we go on the break, let's just complete the voting session. Before that, let's hear from our timer if all the speakers have qualified for voting.
Hello. Good morning, everyone, once again. So the first speech was by Toastmaster Insiya, and her timing was 7 minutes and 15 seconds. So she has qualified for the evaluation. And the second speech was by Toastmaster Deep, and his timing was 6 minutes and 12 seconds. So he has also qualified for the evaluation. Thank you.
So we will conduct a voting for the best speaker since we have two speakers today. Now I will request everyone to close your eyes and I will take name of the speaker. If you wish to vote for that speaker, please raise your hand. For people attending on the online mode, Toastmaster Chandrashekhar, can you launch a poll for them? Sure. Yeah, I will be counting the votes. So please close your eyes and let's vote. So for Toastmaster Insiya, how many votes for Toastmaster Insiya? All right. For Toastmaster Deep, how many votes for Toastmaster Deep? All right. Thank you. Now we will break for 5 minutes and we will again reassemble after 5 minutes for our impromptu session. Thank you.
The purpose of table topic is to present an opportunity to everyone present over here to participate in the meeting. I will invite someone from here. They will shake hand before and after delivering the speech. A table topic, there will be a voting for the best table topic speaker. The timing for the table topic speaking is 2 minutes. At the end of 1 minute, the timer will flash green card. At the end of 1.5 minutes, the yellow card will be flashed. At the end of second minute, the red card will be flashed. There will be a grace period of 30 seconds. So with that, I would ask somebody to volunteer first so that later on we will go ahead with the guest. Anybody? Online vote? Guest? Yeah. You are a guest? So do you want to start right away or? Okay, then we'll start then later on. What did life teach you yesterday? Is your topic. Your Pune? Right. Toastmaster Webo, what did life teach you yesterday? What did life teach you yesterday, Toastmaster Webo? Over to you.
Yesterday seems to be just 24 hours back, right? Or probably 12 hours because we are almost close to the noon. But if I think of yesterday, I barely remember anything. Because when there are no events, when there are no happening things in your life, you tend to forget the time. But if you ask me, what did happen on 30th of September 1983? Though I didn't remember anything, but I can tell you something significant happened. If you ask me something on 29th November 2011, what happened, I'll remember the things. In life, there are things which we'll remember from the past, but not right in the back moment. That's my life, my friends. Many times we ignore the small happiness, but we accumulate the greater joy for the period of time. And if I have to tell my lesson from yesterday is accumulate those small sense of joy. Those may come subtle or those may come in a flood manner. Let's not get rejoiced by the flood and let's not get darkened by the small subtle joy. Let's accumulate them as an integration and let's make them a big product. Over to you, table topic master.
So next I will call upon Toastmaster Sanika and then we'll go ahead with the guest later on. So what is your biggest regret? What is your biggest regret, Toastmaster Sanika? Toastmaster Sanika, what is your biggest regret? Over to you.
Good afternoon, President, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests. So, biggest regret of my life. I'm a very studious person. I've studied a lot, and I've just kept doing that forever. But now, as I'm planning to do my MBA, I've started exploring many things. Like I've joined Toastmasters. I am participating in various case study competitions. I am like yesterday, Toastmaster Insiya asked me about the creative designing of the newsletter. It was something that I thought that it will hamper my studies, but still I took a chance of taking it. So I didn't do it from the beginning. I took a lot of time doing it. So I think that is my regret. If I would have done it from the beginning, I would be a better personality till now. And the specific efforts that I'm taking right now, I wouldn't have to take if I would have done it earlier. So yeah, that is my regret. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sanika. Everybody has the regret, and I also regret that I should have joined Toastmasters much earlier. So our next will be guest. So, would you like to have some one simple topic? What was the last time you tried something new? Guest. Guest Pranav. What was the last time you tried something new? Guest Pranav.
So I am software engineer by profession. And so basically I am a creature always found in home. We are living in a world where COVID has struck us for almost 3 years. So something new, if I have to do, would be around from home itself, that what best new thing I can enjoy of. I had the fun of preparing some Italian food. I had the fun of going to different recipes and then cross-checking with my grandmother, with my mother-in-law, just to see that do they know about those dishes after all. But then they were having no clue because they used to prepare the local native dishes. And I was thinking I should prepare something and then make them have the flavor, how it's looked like. I went through different activities like preparing the curry, preparing, cooking some uh, uh, the raw materials. But then somehow I came down to the dish, which was pale, not very properly cooked. But then I was still happy. I did something to see to pass my day, and it was fine. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guest Pranav. It was really exciting. Uh, Anybody from online mode? Guest. Guest Sujit, would you like to? Guest Sujit, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, Rohan.
Can you give a try?
No, not right now. I will try next time.
Any other guest? Good try. Yes. The favorite thing you love doing as a child? Guest Lokesh. Alkesh. The favorite thing you love doing as a child? Guest Alkesh. Over to you.
Good afternoon, friends. My topic is the favorite things as a child, what you love to do. And what I recall is many friends were there with whom I used to play cricket. And I will just explain the one fine day, we started playing a cricket. So in the morning, we used to, one day before we used to do the planning for finding a ground where we can play cricket. And we used to collect my friends in the morning time. We start collecting one by one. We used to collect our friends, and even we got shouting from our parents and our relatives because we used to break their windows normally. So that is my actually. I used to like that activity, playing cricket with my friends, enjoying after playing cricket. Also, we used to study together. That is also a good activity we like. I like to do. I used to like to do. And in childhood, what I one more thing that I like most to do, that I was watching the Shaktiman. Shaktiman was my favorite actor. So I was like, I can also go around by and I can fly over the skies. So I was saying like at least that was a fantasy, but still fantasies are fantasies and that will end sometime. So I thought of becoming a pilot. That at least by becoming a pilot, I can travel somewhere and I can go into sky. So being a middle class family, you are aware that you cannot afford the charges or fees of being a pilot. So that is somewhat far, somewhat near. At least after started earning, that I used to travel by flight, and at least somewhat far, somewhat near, I am able to travel in the sky. Yeah, thank you.
Guest person. Try once. Nobody is going to say anything. You can try. Childhood memories. Would you able to speak? Just 2 minutes, so 1 minute of story. Right? Yes, Prasanna, right? Yes. Guest Prasanna, your topic is your childhood memories. Your childhood memories, guest Prasanna. Over to you.
Childhood memories, or we can say the fantasy. The same common thing is happening with everyone, like the Santa Claus. everyone says or everyone hears like the Santa Claus came and the gift surprise. So the means I have also tried this for 2-3 years and expect that the Santa Claus came and gave the gift to me, but it didn't happen. So yes, that's it.
Thank you. Today we have lots of time, so we can take everybody, we can give chance to everybody. Toastmaster Naval, can you try? Yeah,
Good afternoon, everyone. My topic is what would you do if you meet your childhood friend whom you met, whom you have not met since you lost the school? So actually, this has happened with me like this Holi only. One of my childhood friend who actually was in school with me. So after that, he went to IIT. So he was like in a different college and different zone. But after like certain amount of time, he just called me like, "Bhai, kaisa hai?" And where are you actually? Just as I have recently moved to Pune since like last year almost. So he just called me like that. Like we have been talking since a lot, since so many years. But the bond of us was so like good in our school days that even after like 6-7 years he contacted me. It was not like why is he contacting me and things like that. So we got we decided that we should meet together, and we also called one of our common friend. So after that we went to like a small park, and we sat there for like 4 hours, and we were chatting and discussing random things like since we were 6-7 years apart, and he now lives in Bangalore. So it was very fascinating for both of us, actually all of us, three of us, to discuss that how our lives are going right now and how everything is changing with like time. And we started also discussing some of our childhood school memories that we used to do this. Now like we are in different cities, so it is sometimes difficult to meet, but luckily all three of us were present at the festival of Holi at our native locations. So it was very good and refreshing for me to meet my friend in that way.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Naval. Toastmaster Nilesh. In one word, how would you describe your child? Okay, let me check it out. So topic for Toastmaster Nilesh is in one word he has to describe his childhood. Over to you, Toastmaster Nilesh.
Toastmaster, presiding officer, fellow Toastmasters, and my dear guests. In one word, I have to explain my childhood, and that word is Toastmaster. Now, you all will be confused why. When I was a child, when I was in school, second standard, third standard, maybe, I was very much fascinated towards teachers. You know, they were the way they were speaking, the way they were teaching, they were standing on the stage and presenting themselves. So it was very much fascinating to me. And then I was thinking since my childhood that yes, one day I will become a teacher or maybe professor in college. Days passed. When I came in college, my grades were not that much good. So unfortunately, I was not able to crack that NET examination because I know that there is some sort of criteria. So even I was not eligible for the exam. I started my corporate journey then. started working with one of the MNC. But then my dream, my childhood dream, was still there. What should I do? Then somehow I got to know about Toastmasters. But yes, this is the platform wherein we can come forward, we can speak, we can deliver our skills, we can deliver our knowledge, whatever we have. And then I started my journey with Toastmasters. And with this, I'm here to living my dream. And yes, the one word is Toastmasters, because Toastmasters has given me a platform to live my childhood dream. And I'm sure that with the help of this Toastmaster, I will be able to live this moment for a longer period of time. That was it. Thank you so much. And over to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nilesh. Good to know that you wanted to be a professor. So the last one. Anybody? Okay. Okay. What white lie you often told as a child? Toastmaster Amya, what white lies you often told as a child? Toastmaster Amya, over to you.
Okay. So this is something. Okay, I talked about this with my mom too recently. I have a younger sister. So whenever I used to break anything or anything at all, I used to make problems, make mischief. I used to put all the blame on my sister very conveniently with an innocent face and everything. I started to cry. Why are you scolding me? Scold her. And then all the blame would be shifted onto her very conveniently. So recently, my sister and I and my mother, we three were on a video call and we were talking about this very topic. My mother used to say, ki, okay, she does not lie. She's a very polite child. She won't lie about this. But recently she got to know, and I have to go home in a week. So it's very convenient for me to uh, get out with it right now. And after a week, she will forget about it. So it won't be a problem when I go home. But my sister, she is not going to forget. And she has been pestering me from that day on that you used to do this. She does not remember it because she is younger, quite young. But now that she got to know that I did this, she would keep on pestering me. And another white lie I told was to my parents about my report card. So not report card, it was remarks, notes in my almanac, which were given by my teacher that she has not completed her work, she has broken this in class, she has done this. I used to tear that page out and I used to conveniently lie, no, I didn't do this. I didn't do that. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the one.
Thank you, Toastmaster Amya. So spilling your beans all over. Thank you. So it's end of the table topic session now, and I would like to hand it over to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rohan, for that session. I'm sure a lot of things were spilled today. Like we know now, Toastmaster Amneya is a liar. So let's move on. Let's move on to the voting session. So before that, let's hear that from our timer for the day on who has qualified and who has disqualified.
Good afternoon once again. So for the table topics, the timings are as follows. For guest Vaibhav, it is 1.1 minute and 57 seconds. So he has qualified. For Toastmaster Sanika, it is 58 seconds. So she just missed it by 2 seconds. So she is disqualified. Guest Prana has qualified with a time of 1 minute and 30 seconds. Guest Akhilesh has qualified with the time of 2 minutes and 7 seconds. guest Prasanna has also disqualified as she has just she gave the speech of 30 seconds only. And then Toastmaster Naval has qualified with the time of 2 minutes. Toastmaster Nilesh has qualified with the time of 1 minute and 48 seconds. Toastmaster Amya has also qualified with the time of 1 minute and 57 seconds. So that's it for the time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the detailed report. Now we will move on to the voting session. Same exercise. Everyone, please close your eyes. I will take up names, and if you like and if you want to vote for that person, please raise your hand. So everyone, let's close your eyes. For people on the online mode, we can launch the Zoom poll. So for guest Vaibhav, who wants to vote for guest Vaibhav? All right. For guest Pranav, who wants to vote for guest Pranav? All right. For the guest Alkesh. All right. For Toastmaster Naval. All right. For Toastmaster Nilesh. All right. For Toastmaster Amneya. All right. All right. You all can open your eyes. Now we will move on to another important session, which is the evaluation session. It is said that feedback is breakfast for champions. If we don't have feedback, we don't know how to improve. So to give feedback to our speakers, we will begin with our evaluation session. To give the first evaluation session, I call upon Toastmaster Nilesh, who will be giving an evaluation speech for Toastmaster Insiya. So Toastmaster Nilesh, before you begin your speech, I know you have told us about your fantasies. Any other fantasies you would like to share, and how close or how far are you from that fantasy?
Okay, I guess I've already talked about it for some time, wherein I was fascinated towards this. Apart from that, I think cartoons, watching TV. One of my favorite cartoons was Tom and Jerry. I used to love that, and still I watch it whenever I get time. There are few episodes still there on the YouTube. Yeah, I think that was it. Thank you. Presiding officer, fellow Toastmasters, my dear guests, and again, special good afternoon to my target speaker, Toastmaster Insiya. We are, as a species, so addicted towards stories. Even when we are sleeping, our mind is still awake entire night and telling stories to itself. So I have divided my speech in three categories, evaluation speech in three categories. First, what I was expecting from the speech. Second, what I heard from the speech. And third, my feedback. So first, what I was expecting from Toastmaster Insiya's speech today, as it was for the storytelling, I was eager to know about story. What's her story? Because she's a great speaker and she's great at voice modulation. So I was quite expecting the same sort of voice modulation in her stories as well. And that was my expectation, and she was true to that. I genuinely felt that she did a great job in that. What I've heard, I heard a story which I was resonating with myself, because the way she started once upon a time, I feel that we all were so excited and eager to know what is going to happen after that. And this is what the story is all about. Since our childhood, our grandparents, parents used to tell us the stories once upon a time. So she did the same way, and I like that because she was sitting on the stool and she started narrating the story. This is what I've heard. And third, my feedback about the storytelling. Toastmaster Insia, I really like the way you started your speech, because since it was a storytelling, and I think you picked up the same line once upon a time, and that is how you started the story. You hook the audience immediately. Normally, in normal speech also, we try to add up some stories so that people will be more interested in listening to us. But the good news with you was the topic itself was the storytelling. So you started with a bang on. I was excited. I'm sure that people around us were excited as well. Then you started narrating your story. You said that your father called you. They told you that you have to travel to India for the further studies. And then you started experiencing your journey, how you went on airport, your flight experience. One man came. So you explained that person as well. He was wearing specs. So basically, I was able to see that man. I was able to see the flight. I was able to see the entire journey of yours. So I genuinely felt that I was traveling with you. And came to Mumbai, and then we saw your parents, your family members. So this is the power of storytelling, and you give a great justice to this topic. Now let's talk about some recommendation. I have only one for you. As your speech was at the highest level, highest note, at the end of the speech, at the time of conclusion, I felt that it could have been a little better, because it was stopped all of a sudden, because I was expecting more to it, because I was at the highest level of your speech. Apart from that, I feel that your storytelling concept, your storytelling knowledge, your storytelling speech was overall good. And congratulations on the great speech, and all the best for your next speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nilesh, for your evaluation. Now, to evaluate the second speech, we have someone who is a magician and a teacher. So let's call upon Toastmaster Chandrashekhar for second evaluation. Toastmaster Chandrashekhar, before you begin, I want to know what was your fantasy. I know you have shared something about a time capsule wherein you had written a letter. We want to know more. What was your fantasy? What you wanted to become? How close you are? How far you are?
I actually wanted to become a horse rider. So when I was a child, I saw this movie which is called as Ghost Rider. So in the movie Ghost Rider, he drives a bike. But there is one more person who is a ghost rider who is riding a horse, and he can become the ghost rider for just one time. So when I was a child, I used to think that I want to ride a horse. I think I'm still far away. The closest I will ever be will be at my brother's wedding from a horse. So that's what I think. But let us see where the journey takes. Now, before I begin my evaluation, I want every one of you to close their eyes. Those who are online also, and every one of you. And can anyone tell me what do you see? Anyone? What do you see when you close your eyes? Darkness. Okay, thank you. You all can open your eyes. So this is what you see, or this is where you get if you don't get out of your comfort zone. And today, Toastmaster Deep shared a story of how an insect went out of his comfort zone, became a dragonfly, and he inspired a whole pond over there. Great story told by Toastmaster Deep. I congratulate him on giving a wonderful speech. Now let us see how he has done in his speech. I want to share what were the good things in his speech. The first thing was the content of the speech. There was an opening where he greeted all the audience, asked the question, and he moved on to the actual story of Pond. I was expecting the story to be somewhere related to his life, but he went ahead with his fictional story. And then he talked about how the pond was, where the insects were living in the pond, and how one insect got above of the pond and he became a dragonfly and explored the world around him. And that's how he got to know that there is a world outside his comfort zone also. And towards the end, he gave a call to action to all of us, where he told us that it is really important for us to, inspire others to be proactive so that we can make the world better. So it was a great story with great opening, great body, and great call to action towards the end. Second thing that I really liked about his story was his energy and his body language. While he was showcasing his story, he was showing his hand like this is the top of the lily, this is the bottom of the lily where the insects are living. So we were able to see what he was trying to convey throughout the story. It's just not story that we listen. We also have to imagine how the pond was looking. So with his hand movement, I was able to see how he was telling us that. Third thing that I really liked in his story was his voice modulation where he was telling that story, why it was important, and four key elements that he told in the story. So overall, a great story, I must say. Now coming to the improvements part of the story. So first thing first, what I felt was in the opening, it started with a general greeting, hello everyone, hello, good afternoon, and everything. Now, whenever we tell a story or whenever we want to inspire an audience, I don't think this is the best way to open your speech. Maybe with a great quote, a great question, or hooking audience with the first part. So you just have the first 15 seconds to hook people. So an opening could have been better. Second thing is that because he was telling the speech virtually, I couldn't feel the inspiration from him as he was standing somewhere in the digital world and I was over here. So to inspire an audience, I somehow felt like it would have been better if he was there to inspire all of the audience. It's not the people in virtual, but over here. Third thing, while delivering his speech, his background was blurred. So though he was trying to use his body language, but sometimes the hands were getting blurred and his clear body language was not shown to us. So if he can work on that part, he would be a great speaker. In conclusion, the story part of the speech was really nice. He has good energy, though he can modulate it really well. And if he can make some improvement in his delivery style, come over here and slow down a little bit, it would be a great speech. With that, I would like to give control to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Chandrashekhar. Now let us call upon General Evaluator who will be calling his tag team and everyone will be presenting their reports. So over to Toastmaster Abhishek to call upon all the tag team members to present their report and then General Evaluator to present his own report. So Toastmaster Abhishek, can you hear us?
Okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you.
Okay, so to the begin, I would like to request our language evaluator Toastmaster Devi to come on the stage and present the report for the language evaluator.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I am back with my evaluation report. So the today's word of the day, contemplate, used by Toastmaster Aneesh, Toastmaster Nilesh, Toastmaster Deep. So have a big round of applause for them. And the phrase of the day is used like a moon in a like once in a blue moon. So it is used by Sanika only. Let's have a big round of applause for her. So there is outstanding use of English language in today's meeting as well. Someone said fantasy. Fantasy is situations that are not true, that you just imagine. The phrase used, time is money. Time is valuable resource and it's better to do things as quickly as possible. Someone said stubborn. Stubborn means not wanting to do what others people want you to do or refusing to change your plans or decisions. The one powerful phrase used today is aspire to inspire before you expire. So it means you have to positively influence an individual into an action so that they can fulfill their innermost desires before they die. Someone said regret. Regret is a feeling of sadness about something that cannot now be changed. There is one misuse of language or other, I can say it will be better instead of using one day before, we can say a day before. So there is wonderful use of English language today meeting. Thank you, all to you, Toastmaster of the day. Sorry, all to you, General Evaluator Abhishek.
Okay, thank you so much, Toastmaster Devi, for this amazing page, the report you got the language evaluator. Now, I would like to request Toastmaster Amay to come on the stage and present the our counter reports.
Good afternoon. So, almost flawless speakers throughout the meeting were Toastmaster Rohan, Guest Vaibhav, Toastmaster Aneesh, Toastmaster Devai, and Toastmaster Insiya. So, a round of applause for them. Rest people who were not so flawless were Toastmaster Chandrashekhar. He used 3 times, and so 3 times and 1 time. Guest Prasanda, she used more than 5 times. Guest Alek used 3 times. Toastmaster Naval used 5 times. Toastmaster Abhishek used 4 times. Toastmaster Nilesh used 2 times. He paused 1 time, so 1 time. And Toastmaster Deep, he used and 4 times. Toastmaster Sanika, she used 2 times, so 2 times. And guest Pranav, he used more than 5 times.
Okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Amaya, for the R counter report.
Toastmaster Naval, you can share your report for the evaluators.
Hello, everyone. So today's evaluators of the speech were Toastmaster Nilesh and Toastmaster Chandrashekhar. So Toastmaster Nilesh timings are 3 minutes and 30 seconds, and Toastmaster Chandrasekhar's timing is 3 minutes and 5 seconds. So they both have qualified.
Okay. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Naval, for the timer report. And we'll have the voting after the general evaluator report for the evaluator as well. Now, I've been observing the proceeding of the meeting, and let us start with the role player evaluation and how good they have performed in this meeting and what are the improvements we can do. Starting with the first role player, Sajid Ram, Toastmaster Rohan. Toastmaster Rohan started the meeting right at time at 11 a.m. He explained the rules of the meeting and stated the mission of the club. So well done, Toastmaster Rohan. No recommendation from my side. Coming on to the next role player, timer, Toastmaster Naval. Toastmaster Naval showed the timing card appropriately. Whenever he was called on the stage, he introduced the role and talked about the role to the audience so that they can better understand. Also, he timed the speaker appropriate time. I had also the timer on turned on with me, so it was appropriate. The timing card were flashed at the right time. So well done, Toastmaster Naval. No recommendation from my side. Coming to our next role player, coming to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Chandrasekhar. Toastmaster Chandrasekhar, where as usual he was energetic and he increased the level of the energy in this meeting. He talked about the theme. He also welcomed our guest and he also talked about the theme we have. He's used some personal story to connect with the audience. So that is also great job done from your side, Toastmaster Chandrasekhar. Great job. Coming to our next role player, our counter Toastmaster Amay. Toastmaster Amay mentioned the flawless speaker and asked the audience to applaud for them. So great job done on side. And also for the speaker who spoke more than 5 filler words, so didn't use the numbers. Instead of that, mentioned that more than 5 times the speaker didn't use filler words. Again, there are some words like and but, so these are the words that can be used, but it is not some filler words. It is good that she has not counted it because sometimes it is used to make some emphasis on your speech. So no recommendation from my side. Well done, Toastmaster man. Coming to our next role player, our language evaluator, Toastmaster Devai. Toastmaster Devai used a very easy to use word of the day and phrase of the day. And in fact, it was used throughout the meeting. Many members have and guests have used this word of the day and phrase of the day. So well done on that. The explanation of the uses was explained really well. So nice job. Again, the report at the end, it was crisp and clear so that we can improve ourselves. Now, the word of the day and phrase of the day, I think it is good that it was sent in our WhatsApp group before the meeting start, but I think it can also be added more time, let's suppose in our role player group or in the chat window of the Zoom meeting, or maybe during the break, so that people may be aware of it. I think in the board, we don't have place to write the word of the day and phrase of the day, but we can think of some other ways so that the word of the day and phrase of the day will be in front of the eyes of the audience. But other than that, great job done. And I hope that whenever someone uses the word of the day and phrase of the day, everyone have encouraged them with a thumbs up. She also mentioned to applaud the speaker who have used those word of the day and phrase of the day. So other than that, no other recommendation. Well done, Toastmaster Devi. Coming to our evaluators, Toastmaster Nilesh evaluated Toastmaster Insiya and Toastmaster Chandrashekhar evaluated Toastmaster Deep. Both of them have used a CRC approach, that is command, recommend, and command approach. Their evaluation were encouraging, but at the same time, it was critical. They covered all the aspects of an ideal speech, and instead of expanding too much on the topic, they actually spoke about how to improve the speaking. That is the good practice. We should not go too much into the content, but we should focus on the speech itself and how the component of the speech can be improved. Also, at the end, the summary was provided. So, no other recommendation to evaluators, Toastmaster Nilesh and Toastmaster Chandrashekhar. Coming to our next role player, tabletop master, Toastmaster Rohan. Toastmaster Rohan at the beginning explained the rules very well. The topics were really good, and it was also aligned with the theme. It was simple enough so that the guest and the members can use it effectively. So that is really nice. He also called up on the stage the Toastmasters and the guest. Initially, he asked the Toastmaster to give speech, then guest. So this is the protocol that we follow in Toastmasters. That is really nice. One recommendation I would like to give from my side is that you can give some acknowledgement to the speaker. For example, after a table topic, if the speaker has used or shares some personal story, then you can just repeat the same message, or you can give your own opinion or encourage them. It will make sure that the speaker will come on the stage next time, and that person will leave the stage happily. So this is one recommendation. Other than that, great job done, Toastmaster Rohan as tabletop master. Finally, the last role player, that is the Toastmaster of the day. Although we are enjoying the meeting today, but the preparation starts way earlier for each meeting. And in fact, in our club, both Toastmaster of the day and VP Education work together to make sure that we enjoy the meeting on Sunday. So first of all, the ability message was present throughout the week. So great job done. I think the credit goes to our VP Education for this. Again, the agenda was a bit late. Mostly we sent it for Friday, but the role player selection happened a bit late. But anyway, we have the agenda. So great job done on that. At the beginning, our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Aneesh, introduced the theme, and he explained about the session. There was energy in the meeting. I liked, especially in the beginning, he told about the personal story. He asked audience questions so that audience mind will be engaged at the beginning itself. So this is something I really enjoyed. Also, he was focusing on the theme. For example, whenever he calls some role player on the stage, he used to ask ask some questions regarding the theme. That is also really nice of him. The energy of the meeting was really good. So some recommendation from my side is that he missed to ask for 1 minute of silence, our Toastmaster Insiya speech. This can be done so that after each speaker, people will get some time to write feedback, and it will help the speaker to improve even more. There is one more observation that I had was the timing was exactly perfect. So, for example, the day should start at 1:47, and it started exactly at 1:47. So well done on that time regarding the timing. But I would also suggest you to start having this timing check. For example, in every interval throughout the meeting, you can have 1 or 2 timing check. Now, if you are not on the time, then all the role players will aware that we are not on time, and they will make sure that we will on the time. If we are on the time, then it will encourage everyone, and everyone will be happy that at least we are on the time, and they will make sure that we are continuing the same process. So this was a great job done, and I think for the general there was some network issue, but I think those things cannot be avoided, or sometimes those things will be there. So this is all from my general evaluator. So I really enjoyed today's meeting, and with that being said, I would like to hand over the stage to our Toastmaster of the day.
Why he wanted to, why he had that fantasy was because he wanted to roam around. So he can still achieve that dream by roaming around, and his fantasies can still come true. Similarly, guest Amnaya wanted to become a fashion designer. She is doing engineering. She sooner or later can still become a fashion designer. These childhood fantasies are what keeps us focused. These childhood fantasies is what excites us. So we should not let these childhood fantasies go away. The form can be different, but our fantasies can still come true. And I encourage and urge everyone to think of our childhood fantasies and keep working towards it. That just might make our life much more happier and much more exciting. That's all from my end. We will now move on to guest feedbacks. So all the guests I would like to call one by one, and I would like to request everyone to share your feedback. We can start with you. So how you felt about today's meeting, and what was your takeaway, and what suggestions you would like to give us?
So after a long time, I have come down to this podium just to see that okay, how Toastmasters is working and how you are practicing on day-to-day improvement that you're trying to do on your conversations. Actually, earlier I used to be part of Toastmasters, but then all of those work, big projects, whatever I'm handling or things are happening, I was not getting time. But seeing again all you folks putting your efforts, understanding each nuances, and seeing okay how you have to deliver your best, it was heart melting. Actually, it's good. And you know, one thing is good about this Toastmasters thing is that okay, we are not judging here, or at least we are judging in a positive manner. That we are trying to take some benefit out of it. That we will do improvement later down the time. I guess if somebody not won any good awards or have done a lot of hours in, as she pointed out, I did 4 or 5 in my talk. It's not about pressing you down. It's actually is about helping you improve with the support that you have. I felt that thing, and it's good.
Thank you. That was absolutely perfectly highlighted. At Toastmasters, we try to create a very supportive and nurturing environment. No one is here to judge you. Everyone is here to support you. So very well observed. Guest Prasanna, would you like to share your thoughts? Actually, let's give a big round of applause. Guest Prasanna is not probably very comfortable on stage, but she is still putting up a brave face and coming here. So kudos to you for coming up here, and let us know what you think.
Actually, this is the first time I have attending the Toastmaster, but attending the session, I can actually feel that the Toastmaster really help us means where we are lacking, where we need to improve. And that's the best thing I can say about the Toastmaster. And I really wanted to join this group and continue this Hartley Toastmasters. Thank you.
You can come next. Probably you are just a guest right now, but you have been a Toastmaster before. So we would like to definitely see you again. And rather, every one of you present over, we would like to soon address you as Toastmaster.
Toastmaster is always a place where I cherished a lot. As I told earlier, it was just the online mode which was disturbing me because it was creating a lot of screen time for me, and I wanted to reduce overall my screen time. But as a platform, this is a great thing, and I think Northwest is like my second home because I have been member of Northwest for almost 2 years. And then I have been to Baroda. I got shifted to Baroda and then I changed my club. But overall, Toastmaster fraternity is quite well known to me. So that's something. And talking about overall experience, I still miss those things where I'm delivering the 5 minutes, 10-minute speeches on various topics about my life, about my lessons. There are so many stories created for last 4-5 years. So now those 4-5 years accumulated things, I want to bring it out here. So most likely I'll be soon part of this community again, and I'll be happy to back with you all.
Thank you so much. It will be like a homecoming for you again. So we hope that we see you soon. Guest Alkesh. We also have people on the online mode. We can probably go with people attending online. Guest Sujit. What were your thoughts about meeting and any feedback you would like to share with us?
Uh, Thanks. My name is Sujit. So I really like the way you organize this meeting and the way you gave us the chance to talk to everybody and try to make them more confident to remove their fearness and all. I really liked it. I think it would really help for me as well as to other people. So this is just thing I want to say. And thank you for giving a chance me to talk.
See more of you, and sooner we'll also like to see you as a Toastmaster
Yes,
in our group.
yes, definitely.
We have guest Alkesh also in the offline mode. Guest Alkesh, if you would like to share thoughts about today's meeting.
Thank you for giving me a chance. Good afternoon, all. And I like the session. This is the third time I am visiting here, actually attending the session. And I see that everything is set up in proper manner. The camera is set, projector is set. So I was used to think that somebody from outside must be helping you. But I slowly I learned that you people are doing everything, and that responsibly you are taking your roles and giving the feedbacks, also watching the speaker speaking and also enjoying the speech, and also noting down the feedback. We are coming as a guest and we are just enjoying the session, but you are putting your all efforts, and it is tremendous. I would like to join Toastmaster as soon as possible. I will take few more classes. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guest Alkesh. You are definitely welcome to join our sessions, and soon we would like to see you also and address you as Toastmaster Alkesh. Thank you everyone for your feedback. Now it's time for our president's closing address. So let's call upon our president, Toastmaster Chandrashekhar.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Before I announce the result, I completely forgot to tell one thing. Though when I talked about my childhood fantasy, I spoke about horse, but I just realized it was not horse, it was a unicorn, and the horse is the closest thing to the unicorn. I might see the horn once in a blue moon. So let us go ahead with the result for today's meeting. Okay, today's meeting, the best speaker, we had two speakers today, and the best speaker award goes to Toastmaster Insiya. Okay. Now again comes the best speaker, but this is for the impromptu speaking. And we had around 10 people participated today. So the best table topic speaker award goes to Toastmaster Amya. The best auxiliary role player award goes to Toastmaster Devan for grammarian. The best evaluator award goes to Toastmaster Nilesh. And the best role player award for today's meeting goes to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Aneesh. Congratulations to each and everyone. We will be sharing the certificate soon. Apart from that, we have something from PQD, which is the Program Quality Director. So I would request Toastmaster Devi to come on the stage. Yes, Toastmaster Devi. So two people have received this from PQD, which says, many thanks for showing your commitment to Toastmaster for renewing till September 23. So this is a token of appreciation. I think it's a badge or something from Toastmaster. So congratulations to you. Here it is. Now there are no further announcements to be made, but the role for the Toastmaster of the day is open for next meeting. So if anybody wants to nominate, please do so, and you can inform me right now or by the end of the day to our VP Education. With that, I would like to adjourn this meeting, and we can come all together for a group photo. Okay. Anish, you will be taking the photo?
We can remove the camera now, right? इसको?